Well, good evening, everyone. Today is Wednesday, November the 30th, and the time is about 7:05 p.m. And my name is Michael Paylor. I am the Chief Hearing Officer Designee at this hearing for Montgomery County's Department of Transportation, MCDOT, in partnership with Howard County Department of Public Works, HCDPW, and Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission, WSSC, for the maintenance of Montgomery County Bridge number M0229 on Brighton Dam Road Bridge over Brighton Dam of Triadelphia Reservoir. Here with me this evening to conduct this public hearing are Ms. Maricela Cordova, Acting Chief of Division of Transportation Engineering, DTE, for Montgomery County's Department of Transportation, Mr. Barry Fuss, Bridge Design Chief for DTE for MCDOT, Mr. Greg Huang, Project Manager for MCDOT, Mr. Jake Weir, Project Manager for HCDPW, and Mr. Samir Khalil, Project Manager for WSSC. Ms. Cordova will be providing the information and details regarding the proposed project. Thank you so very much for joining us in this virtual platform. Although we've held quite a few virtual meetings, we are still learning. So please bear with us if we encounter any technical difficulties tonight. And tonight's hearing will be held virtually it's being held virtually and it's being recorded. And a link to the recording will be posted by 7 p.m. tomorrow on the project webpage of the Rehabilitation of Brighton Dam Road Bridge number M-0229 over Brighton Dam of Triadelphia Reservoir. The link to the project webpage is provided at the top of the chat on this virtual platform. Please note, your video camera is turned off by default this evening. This is to reduce the bandwidth of the meeting and maximize technical efficiency. We do request that you please do not turn on your camera during the hearing. Likewise, your microphones have been muted. Once the testimony portion of this hearing begins, those who have signed up to testify will be called on and unmuted when it is their turn to speak. If you have not signed up in advance to testify, but wish to do so, please raise your hand by clicking on the reactions at the bottom of your screen and then clicking raise hand. If you are joining us via telephone only, you may raise your hand by pressing *9 on your telephone keypad. Please wait until the testimony portion of this hearing begins to raise your hand. You may raise your hand at any time during the testimony portion of the hearing. We will call on you to provide your oral testimony and unmute your microphone when it is your turn to speak. Written testimony and comments may be submitted as well and will be considered with the same weight as oral testimony. Following the testimony portion of this hearing, we will hold a question and answer session if time allows. During that time, you may raise your hand to ask a question, or you are welcome to type your question in the chat box by clicking on the chat icon at the bottom of your screen. Tonight's hearing is being held pursuant to Section 4953 of the Montgomery County Code. The purpose of a public hearing is to obtain resident testimony and comments regarding the potential project to assist in determining if the project is in the best interest of the public and whether or not it should be authorized for construction in its entirety or any portion thereof. This forum allows you to provide testimony either in support for or in opposition to the project. Testimony and comments received may influence the final design. Your testimony and comments should be focused entirely on the project, which is the topic of discussion. All interested persons are entitled to be held at this hearing. However, the testimony portion of this hearing is not a forum for dialogue, question and answers, or cross-examination. Please direct your remarks to the specific project that is the subject of this hearing. If comments stray into areas not related to this project, I will ask that you refocus your comments to the subject project. Following the conclusion of this public hearing, the record will remain open for 2 weeks to allow any person who was unable to attend this hearing an opportunity to have their comments included into the public record and be fully considered. The official closing date, by which all written testimony and comments must be received, is Wednesday, December 14th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Submissions should be emailed to Greg Huang at greg.huang@montgomerycountymaryland.gov or provided by the online comment form at the following link, which is seen on your screen, https://forms.office.com/G/V E6ZY7 by the close of the hearing record. Please be sure to provide your name and property address on your submission. As we mentioned before, written submissions will be considered with the same weight as oral testimony. At the conclusion of this hearing and the record is officially closed, I, as the hearing officer, will review and weigh all the information submitted into the public record and make a recommendation to the Director of Montgomery County's Department of Transportation, that is, Mr. Christopher Conklin, for his final decision as to whether the project has been shown to be in the best public interest and whether or not to authorize the project as proposed or any portions thereof. And now, to discuss the rehabilitation of Brighton Dam Road Bridge over Brighton Dam, I give you Maricela Cordova.
Good evening, Mr. Baylor, ladies and gentlemen. For the record, I am Maricela Cordova with Montgomery County Department of Transportation, Division of Transportation Engineering. The subject of this evening's public hearing is to consider a proposal to perform the rehabilitation of Brighton Dam Road Bridge number M0229 over Brighton Dam on Triadelphia Reservoir and other associated work at the approaches. For your convenience, we have posted a few downloadable displays that aid in the visual description of this project on the project webpage. We will review them as I describe the project. Display A is a map showing the orientation of the project site. The red line is Brighton Dam Road. The blue area is Triadelphia Reservoir. The black dashed line represents the border of Montgomery County and Howard County. The black circle indicates the location of Brighton Dam and the bridge. Display B provides a quick review of the existing Brighton Dam Road Bridge to be rehabilitated. The existing bridge is a structure reconstructed in 1999 and is composed of 15-span pre-stressed concrete solid slab beams with concrete wearing surface for a total of approximately 601 feet and 6 inches long. This structure carries a 2-lane, 28-foot clear roadway with a 5-foot concrete sidewalk on the north side, an 8-inch concrete curb on the south side, and a 1 foot and 4 inches concrete parapet on both sides, for a total out-to-out bridge width of 36 feet and 4 inches, and is supported by concrete buttresses of Brighton Dam. Displays C1 through C7 present the proposed scope of work with 12 tasks. Number 1, repair concrete parapets. The concrete parapets have similar severe spalling at every parapet expansion joint due to insufficient opening. Number 2, repair pre-stressed concrete beams for spalling at many locations. Number 3, repair concrete buttress back walls at both ends of the bridge for severe cracking. Number 4, replace all the bridge deck compression joints due to depressed joint seals. Number 5, replace all the 20 existing street lighting at the site with in-kind concrete poles on the bridge, fiberglass poles of the bridge, and LED light fixtures. The existing concrete poles are near the end of their service life, which is about 30 years. Cracks and spalls are in evidence on many existing concrete light poles. The existing light fixtures at the top of some light poles are leaning or damaged. Number 6, seal cracks on the concrete deck wearing surface, hairline cracking over almost the entire deck. Number 7, repair the deteriorating concrete sidewalk at both ends of the bridge. Number 8, install new drainage troughs on both sides of each of the listed concrete buttresses on their deck expansion joints. The left figure shows the elevation view of buttresses, and the right figure shows the typical section of buttresses. The light gray areas in the elevation view and in the typical section show the concrete buttress. The dark gray area in the elevation view and two hooks in the typical section show the new drainage troughs. The light brown area in the elevation view is the dam gate. The new drainage troughs can catch stormwater leaking through deck expansion joints to protect dam gates from corrosion. Number 9, install an additional storm drain inlet and 15-inch concrete drain pipe on both sides of the approach roadway on the Howard County side to improve the local storm drainage. Number 10, resurface or repave the asphalt pavement of the approach roadway on the Howard County side to improve the pavement. The light brown area in the plan is the Brighton Dam Road Bridge. The dark gray area shows the repaving of asphalt pavement, and the light gray area shows the resurfacing of asphalt pavement. No pavement work will be done for the approach roadway on the Montgomery County side, as the pavement was just resurfaced in the fall of 2021. Number 11, construct a permanent turnaround site at the existing tanker fire truck water refill site on the Howard County side for police vehicles, fire and rescue trucks, and school buses of Montgomery County and Howard County. The existing water refill site with an underground water tank, a concrete surface slab, and an asphalt pull-off area as shown in orange are located on the west side of Brighton Dam Road at approximately 900 feet from the Brighton Dam Road Bridge within a property owned by WSSC. The red area represents a preliminary layout of the proposed asphalt turnaround site suggested by Howard County Fire and Rescue Services. The green area represents the proposed grass surface area, and the two blue areas represent the proposed fire retention stormwater management facilities. Further evaluations for accessibility, storm management needs, environmental impact, property impact, transportation safety, and construction costs are underway to determine the feasibility of the proposed turnaround site. If the turnaround site is implemented, HCDPW will be responsible for the future maintenance, and WSSC will grant HCDPW a maintenance easement. Number 12, relocate the existing diagonal crosswalk over Brighton Dam Road and associated walkway connection for Brighton Dam Azalea Garden on the Montgomery County side to the new locations as shown in red, and install 2 additional street lights at the locations as shown in yellow for the crosswalk. The existing crosswalk is located approximately 320 feet from the Brighton Dam Road Bridge. The new ladder bar crosswalk is perpendicular to Brighton Dam Road to enhance the safety of pedestrian crossings and the public travelers. The additional lighting is provided in attempts to meet the Montgomery County's Vision Zero initiative. The bridge will be closed to the traffic during construction. Display D1 depicts the vehicular traffic detour route and bicycle traffic detour route, respectively, for the maintenance of traffic during construction. The blue line in the map is the Brighton Dam Road for New Hampshire Avenue in Montgomery County to Highland Road in Howard County. The red circle indicates the location of the Brighton Dam and Bridge. The green line is a 9.2-mile detour route for vehicular traffic through New Hampshire Avenue and Ashton Road in Montgomery County, and Clarksville Pike and Highland Road in Howard County. The purple line in the map is a 5-mile detour route for bicycle traffic through New Hampshire Avenue in Montgomery County and Haviland Mill Road in Montgomery County and Howard County. Proper temporary traffic detour signage will be installed for both directions along these 2 detour routes. Display D2 lists additional items that are associated with the maintenance of traffic during construction. The existing access for the adjacent Brighton Dam Visitor Center and Azalea Garden on the Montgomery County side will be maintained throughout the entire construction period. A temporary turnaround sites for public school buses, police cars, and emergency response vehicles will be provided at the Brighton Dam Visitor Center parking lot in the Montgomery County side and at the existing water refill site on the Howard County site during the bridge closure. The existing water refill site on the Howard County site will be maintained for tanker fire trucks. A 30,000-gallon temporary water refill tank for tanker fire trucks will be provided at the Brighton Dam Visitor Center parking lot on the Montgomery County site. The total project cost is estimated at $2,436,000, including engineering, construction, and construction management costs. $2,250,000 have been funded to date. The acquisition for the remaining $150,000 is underway. Each of Montgomery County, Howard County, and WSSC will share $812,000, which is 1/3 of the project cost. The design of the project began in March 2021 and is expected to be completed in the spring of 2023. The construction is anticipated to take approximately 12 to 16 weeks, which will start in the spring of 2024 and end in the summer of 2024. The project cost, funding, and schedule are subject to change as the project progresses until it is complete. Pursuant to Section 49-52 of the Montgomery County Code, there are no properties which are considered to be especially benefited by the proposed improvement. Therefore, no properties are expected to be assessed. Several exhibits are incorporated into the public record binder for your information and consideration. The exhibits include: number 1, the approved fiscal year 2023 project description form for Capital Improvement Program CIP number P501907, Brighton Dam Road Bridge number M-0229. Number 2, the design plans at the level of 90% completion with latest revisions. Number 3, the 2021 Biennial Bridge Inspection Report. Number 4, Washington Times newspaper online advertisement proof and Montgomery County governmental press release. Number 5, written testimony provided prior to and after this public hearing. Number 6, list of attendees to be added following this hearing. Number 7, hearing transcript also to be added following the hearing. Project-related data and files can be downloaded from the project webpage at the address that you see on the screen, https://www.montgomerycountymd.gov, DOT/DTE projects Brighton Dam Road index.html. The files will continue to be available to the public until the record for this public hearing is officially closed. As previously stated, here with us this evening are Mr. Barry Foss and Mr. Greg Wang of MCDOT, Mr. Jack Weir of HCDPW, and Mr. Samir Halil of WSSC. In addition, we have Mr. Bimal Patel and Mr. Doug Lee from the engineering consulting firm Stantec present at this hearing. We will be available after the hearing to answer any questions regarding the construction aspects of this project. And now I will turn things back to Mr. Paylor. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cordova. We will now hear testimony from those in attendance who wish to testify. If you have not signed up to testify, but decide that you would like to, please click on the reaction icon on the bottom menu bar and then click raise hand icon to raise your hand. Alternatively, if you join the meeting by phone, you may dial *9 from your telephone keypad to let us know that you wish to testify. Once you are invited to speak, please clearly provide your name and address for the record prior to beginning your testimony. We will begin with those who have signed up in advance to testify at this evening's hearing. Again, please be sure to announce your name and property address before providing your testimony. Testimony will be limited to approximately 3 minutes. So our recommendation would be for you to try to limit your testimony to this 3-minute time frame if it is all possible. I'm requesting that all presentations taking longer than 3 minutes be summarized so as to comply with our time constraints and provide a full written testimony to submit into the record. These submissions will be fully considered along with the oral testimony heard here today. So now we'll go to the testimony. I would appreciate it if Ms. Lori Main could help me with making sure we get all the individuals who would like to speak in order. So could you please announce those speakers, Lori?
I absolutely can. First up, we have Benjamin Shovlin.
Great, thank you. I hope you can hear me.
We can, thank you, Benjamin.
Great. I live at 6275 Firethorn Lane on the Howard County side of Brighton Dam, and I've lived in this area for about 6 years now, and I just am concerned that with the scope and sequence of this project, that there hasn't been enough modeling done to measure the impact of the increased traffic on the neighborhoods affected by the rerouting of traffic around Brighton Dam. I've seen Folly Quarter Bridge at 10 Oaks closed and saw the impact on neighborhoods around that area. And it was, it increased not only traffic, but traffic accidents, noise pollution. And I just want to make sure that there is sufficient research being done on that part of the project. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, next we'll hear from Michael Duvall. Okay, I don't see Mr. Duvall on our participant list, so
Okay.
next we'll hear from Kevin Felber. Okay, it doesn't appear that Mr. Felber is with us either.
All right.
That's all I have. So, Michael, if you'd like, if anyone would like to raise their hand.
Wow, thank you so much. As Ms. Main mentioned, is there anyone on the call tonight who did not sign up to testify but now wishes to speak? If so, please click the reactions icon and then raise hand to raise your hand. Or if you're joining us by phone, dial *9 on your telephone keypad if you wish to speak. And please keep in mind that written testimony and comments may be submitted as well, and they'll be considered with the same weight as your oral testimony. So if there's anyone who would like to speak now, please raise your hand. I'll leave the offer for individuals on the call to testify open a little longer to give us some additional time to decide to speak, or we'll close the record. Okay, if no one else wishes to offer testimony, we'll conclude in the oral testimony portion of the public hearing, and we'll move into the question and answer session. The same protocols apply. If you have a question, please click the reactions icon and then raise your hand, and then raise hand to raise your hand. Or if you join us by phone, please press *9 on your telephone keypad if you wish to ask a question. You're also welcome to type your questions into the chat box. So at this time, please raise your hand or type questions in the chat box as you wish to have your questions answered. Okay, I'll leave the record open for just a little longer to give everyone a last opportunity to posit any questions. Okay, well, thank you all for joining the call, and certainly appreciate the testimony that we received. And at this time, we're going to conclude the hearing. Please note that you can also email your questions to the project manager, Mr. Greg Huang, after the meeting. And it is 7:31. And we will conclude this hearing. And we definitely thank you for participating. As a reminder, we will keep the record open for 2 weeks. Written testimony and comments are due by Wednesday, December 14th, 2022 at 7 p.m. And again, as a refresh, additional written testimony and comments may be submitted by email and must be received by the close of this hearing record. These submissions should be sent to Mr. Greg Huang, professional engineer. His email address is greg.huang@Montgomery County, Maryland, montgomerycountymd.gov, or they can be submitted by online comment form at the following link, which is seen on your screen, https://formsoffice.com GQZ7K capital V E6ZY7. We certainly appreciate you participating and thank you so much for your time this evening. And at this time, the public hearing is now concluded. Have a great evening.